guys, welcome to today's video. Today I am naked on the old eyelid area and that's because I wanted to play around with the Jeffree Star Jawbreaker palette. Now, it came out ages ago now. What ages ago? Like, in the beauty industry and the beauty world, makeup world, makeup is out of date 2 weeks from when it launched. So I feel like even though I haven't played around with this and I bought this a month ago and I still haven't played around with it, it's out of date, but I don't care. I hauled this back in my June to August haul situation and I only ever swatched it, but inside it is just, it's a rainbow palette essentially, but Jeffree's idea of a rainbow palette. I love whatever Jeffree Star produces. I think it's great. I haven't tried out some of his complexion products yet, but I know that his eyeshadows are absolutely thebomb.com and I just get hyped for every single release that he does, and this was no exception. I have a feeling that I want to play around with the pastel tones in this, like these three here. I am wearing a bit of a green, jewel toned forest green shirt, but I don't think I want to play around with anything too red, anything too blue. I recently did my half and half face with the Blue Blood palette and kind of showing you how I used to do my old clubbing makeup and how I would do it now with that Blue Blood palette. And obviously he's got the Blood Sugar palette, so I don't really want to do anything too red or too blue. So I think I'm going to try and stick with these pinks, purples, like these really pastel bubblegum sort of shades. Like this row here to me is very unique. I'm feeling so lethargic today. I just feel like I just want to film so many videos and I'm just, you know that feeling of just completely like drained. I feel drained. I never really sit down and do tutorials or anything because I feel like no one watches those anymore, but to be honest, I do YouTube for me, so I don't really care if it gets views or not. The first shade I want to go into is Brain Freeze. It's just like this beautiful blue, like frosty but pastel light blue. I absolutely love it. And they're so soft. As I'm dipping my brush in, it's almost crumbly. It's so soft, but I really love that about Jeffree's formula. Everything is so soft and buttery and just so perfect. I think I've got you zoomed in enough. I'm going to start this in the inner corner. And I want to kind of just start mapping this out. I'm using a pencil brush just to really get it precise at the moment. Okay, and then I want to go into the shade Cute, which is this gorgeous Tiffany blue mint shade. Absolutely stunning. I really like it. It's like a minty green. Again, same really creamy and really soft formula. And I'm going to just match this up and go to the centre of the lid, like the centre of the crease. I'm then going to go into the shade Gumdrop, which is this like beautiful pastel lavender shade. It's absolutely stunning. I've never seen a purple like it. And then I'm going to put this towards this end of my eye. And I'm going to try and tailor it out a little bit because I want the F word to be on the outer corner. This shade is like a weird one. It's like a pastel, but it's like a little bit harder than the other ones. It's not as soft. It's like a pastel bubblegum pink. It's such a weird shade. Like this one to me is like a bubblegum pink. This one here is called bubblegum. But can you see the difference? Like this one's more of a pastel undertone, but it's so bright and neon, whereas this one's more of a true Barbie bubblegum pink. So it's a very weird shade, but I kind of like it. So I'm going to use that shade and kind of tail under the eyebrow like that. I'm going to take a little bit more of Gumdrop and blend it into the pink and the green a bit more. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Cute, that minty Tiffany greeny blue. Blend that in. And then I'm going to take Brain Freeze and just go over that again. I think that's what I'm after. I'm really not too sure at this stage. I like how these three blend in, but I don't feel like this one does. So I might repeat this on the other side, but in reverse. That might look quite cool. I think if I just go to the top of this and just blend it out a little bit so it's not so harsh, it might look a little bit better. Like I said, I'm not really too sure, I'm just playing around with this palette. I'm kind of regretting doing different eyes. It kind of looks a little bit strange. I wish I did the pink to blue on both sides, but I'm going to use the Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer in the shade C2. I'm going to load that up on a flat shader brush. I want a lot of this colour showing, so I'm not going to cut this crease too high. I like that more now, and like with the colour on the lid I think that would look nicer. I'm going to do the same to this other eye. What do you think? It's kind of weird, isn't it? It's a little bit unicorny. I don't really do things like this usually. It's a little bit of fun. I think I'm going to take Snack, this one right here, and I think I'm going to just apply this all over the lid. Let's just see what happens. See what this looks like. It's a very subtle pink, but I think this eye look, because it's so pastel-y, kind of needs something subtle, so I'm going to continue with a brush to put Snack all where I put that concealer. And I think I'm going to tail it out as well a little bit. I quite like it. It's very unicorny. This is not me at all. Like, I don't do the whole unicorn vibes, but because I never do it, this brought me some inspiration to do it, and you've got to step out your comfort zone once in a while, haven't you? I have no idea where this look is taking me, but I feel like I need to go into something small like this. I want to take Cherry Wet, which is this one here, and it's going to kind of be like the jewel toned one of the pink we were previously using, the F word. And I'm going to take on this tiny brush and just kind of draw the line where the concealer was, or where it ended, and where the crease started. For the purple, I'm going to take this shade here called Bite Me. It is a metallic, but it is a purple, and it's the only other purple I've got apart from this deep Blurple Delicious. So I'm going to have to take Bite Me and draw it where the purple is. And then for the line with the cute shades, I'm going to go into the shade Sour, which is far more of like an apple sours colour. Like, it is just a true soury sort of green. It probably won't match the cute shade too much, but it's really the only choice I've got because I'm kind of running with this idea now, so I haven't got much choice. Okay, so this is pulling together nicely, I think. I'm going to take the shade Soaked, which is this beautiful bright cobalt blue, and that's going to be our jewel toned colour of Brain Freeze, which is going on in the outer corner and the inner corner here. So I'm going to take the shade Soaked and do the same as I've been doing. Okay, so I think all I need to do now It's just maybe add a little bit more depth on the outer corners and something going on in the inner corners. I'm going to go into the shade Jawbreaker, this one right here. It's kind of like a white shade with this golden base. It's really, really pretty. And I think I'm going to have that as my inner corner highlighter. I feel like we couldn't do a Jawbreaker palette without using the shade Jawbreaker. So I'll need to just use a pencil brush and highlight the inner corner there without trying to go over any of the sort of stuff we've got going on here. I don't really want a matte brow bone just because we've got quite a lot of matte stuff going on already, so I feel like this pop of metallic-y whitey gold might be quite nice. Okay, so I've got a risky idea and I think I'm going to do a winged liner with the shade Raspberry here and Delicious right here. These are two very deep dark colours, and I feel like if I do the blue going out to the red, it might just anchor this look a little bit more. I'm going to put Delicious on this little Morphe M158 and I'm going to start the winged liner in the inner corner. And because it's powder, I just like to move in small movements, stamping and pushing. I don't want this to get too crazy. And I think because I'm like nearing the outer corner, I want to go into the shade Raspberry, this one right here, which is like the reddier, well, raspberry colour, and then do the wing with that, and then if it doesn't work out I can go back in with Delicious and go over it. I think I quite like that. I feel like it anchors it nicely instead of looking like, I feel like this looks incomplete, whereas this looks a little bit more finessed. It's very obscure. It's a very obscure look. I think just to put something on the lower lash line, I'm going to go into the shade Cone, which is this beautiful peachy, very neutral peachy kind of shade, but it's kind of in keeping with the rest of the look. Again, this is one of these really creamy shades, and I'm just going to kind of run this on the lower lash line just to add a little bit of something, not to take away from anything that we've got going on the top lid. Let's get mascara on and review this. So what do I think of the Jawbreaker palette? Now I know this wasn't really a review and it was just me kind of just playing around with it. I've got to say, I feel like all the colours, although it kind of looks a little bit mismatched from far back, I feel like all the colours really go together quite nicely. I've used quite a lot of colours on my eyelids today. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I used 13 shades on my eyes today. I mean, apart from a tiny bit of fallout, they all performed beautifully. Every shade was so buttery smooth, but he's formulated all of the shadows so that they perform slightly differently from every single one. So every shade you can tell is pressed differently because some are a little bit harder to the touch than others. Some are literally like butter and crumble between your fingers, and some are a little bit more harder, a bit more stiff, but because of the colour, it needs that. So I really love this palette. I think every single shade is so stunning individually, and I feel like when you look at it from far back, it's a little bit overwhelming. But even doing that tiny bit of liner of that raspberry shade and Delicious, it's kind of inspired me all over again just to do that lovely purple, navy blue, really beautiful deep tones. And then equally he's got some really bright pastel tones I've got all throughout my crease, and I just wouldn't normally do a look like this. This is so out of my comfort zone. It's not the best, granted, okay, don't come for me, I know it's not the best work, but because all the shades blend in together really nicely, I feel like it's a more wearable colour. Obviously if you don't like colour, don't pick this up because it's literally full of colour apart from 2 shades, these 2 here. So if you don't like colour, then you won't pick this palette up anyway. But I love colour and I love experimenting with different things. This cobalt blue, oh my god, I need this as an eyeliner, please. I need this as an eyeliner all over my face. I love cobalt blue eyeliner. So I feel like that's inspired me to get into this shade, get into that navy, get into that raspberry shade again. I loved that raspberry and navy together, it was beautiful. So yeah, I mean, it's a really inspiring palette. Once I got to play around with it, I felt more inspired the more I was playing with it. And like I said, I've stepped outside my comfort zone. This is not something I would create normally, and I kind of like it. I'm kind of living for it. What do you think? I've had fun experimenting. I can finally say that I have tried out this palette, and I can now actually put it in my drawer and say that I have tried it out. I liked it. I'm going to keep it. I love it. I like all the shades inside of it. I think it's very inspiring without it even meaning to. I'm more inspired about this palette now than I was at the beginning of this video, and that says a lot about a palette. I'm already thinking of different looks I could do with this palette, and yeah, I really like it. I feel like I'm rambling on because I'm in this weird juju energy vibe. I need 10 cups of tea maybe, and I'll feel a little bit better. Or like 8 hours of sleep for once. That'd be great. And I think that's it really. Subscribe if you haven't already and ring my bell. I upload every single week. And yeah, sorry if this is your first video here because I'm feeling in a very weird mood today. But yeah, thumbs up if you did enjoy. I've got lots of other videos coming soon. So yeah, don't forget to ring that bell. Be notified. Be notified of all my videos I upload. I upload every single week. And that's it. See you later guys. I'm gonna go binge Netflix with a big brew. Bye. I like all the shades inside.